Bernadette. So today we're going to talk about natural tips for health, for healing, for digestion, for detox. With my with my current health journey of healing an intestinal mass, I'll give you an update. And for those of you who are struggling with health issues or you're going through certain challenges with your health, I hope to answer your questions as well. So feel free to ask questions. Even if I don't address it in today's live, because maybe you put it into the comments after the live is over, I will get to it. I promise. Um, and this week has just zipped on by. So I wanted to make sure I jumped on today and kind of give you guys some tips. So say hello if you're watching. Like I said, if you're live, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, let me know that you're here. I wrote a post today. I got to get my dog. Hold on. Come here. I'm babysitting Macy and Milo. Um, so she has to be held at all times. She is the ultimate lap dog. In any case, I wrote a post today about butternut squash, what the benefits are. I'm going to tell you in more depth why I recommended it. And it's great. Hey, Ashley, it's really good if you have any kind of digestive issue, if you have constipation, if you're not regular, even if you are and you need some added fiber and you don't want to take a fiber supplement. And I recommend we do things as naturally through food, whole food. Let thy food be thy medicine as possible. So I have a friend who is going to be having surgery. And she asked me, I told her, make sure you have a bottle of activated charcoal. And I brought a bottle in here. See if I can find it. I swear it was just here. Um, and now I can't find it. Like it's probably sitting right in front of me or the dog knocked it down. In any case, I was going to show you what kind I use. And I don't know what happened to it. Um, Too many things, not enough brain power. I told her to make sure she has a bottle of activated charcoal for this reason. When I had my hysterectomy, like the pain of the hysterectomy, because they give you some heavy duty pain pills to stay ahead of the pain. But it wasn't the pain from the incision and the surgery that got me. It was literally the gas they blow up into your stomach to get that camera in there and get the robotics going through the laparoscope that hurt more. And I think day 3 and day 4 of recovery is when that gas was just painful up under my ribs. I couldn't breathe. It felt horrible. And it took me that long to figure out you should have been taking activated charcoal all this time. So when I did, it cleared out of my system super quickly. So for any of you that are going through any kind of virus, you're going through a surgery, even if you just have like dental stuff going on, activated charcoal is amazing. But let me give you a warning. Do not take it unless you're drinking double your water quantity. You've got to up your water because it can dehydrate you. A lot of people, when they're going through that stuff, they don't know. And then she had asked me, well, can I take a stool softener with it? I'm like, for what? Like stool softeners, laxatives all have side effects. When my daughter, Bella, were constipated, the doctors immediately go to take Miralax. And I have a couple clients who their doctors recommend just take Miralax. Miralax is chemical. And it's absolutely not necessary if you use the proper foods. So I wrote a whole article today, a whole little blog. You can see it on the post. And I even gave you my recipe for the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot, like I love because it makes it super easy to make. Throw it in there, hit the timer, you're off to the races, and it's done. And that's how I always make my butternut squash. I even said, this is how I cut it. This is how I section it. And then I cook it one section at a time as needed. And it lasts for a long time. But butternut squash is great if you are constipated. Butternut squash is good for any time you need a fiber dose, but it's great if you can incorporate it into your daily diet. Then you won't need Metamucil, fiber one, right? You literally won't need it. You get all of your fiber in that butternut squash, but you've got to eat a fairly decent sized portion of it. And it's filling, but it's got vitamin C in it. It's got beta carotenes in it. It's good for your health. It's good for digestion. It's good for eyesight. It's good for so many things. and it's good for immune system. So I suggest y'all do that. If any of you, you're like, for the longest time, I would not make butternut squash because it looked really daunting to cook it until I learned how to do it. And I was like, wow, this is much simpler than I thought. And you can put it in the oven too. I went through little walks to help circulation. Hold on, let me pop this up, which also help with the pain and move the gas. Absolutely. Movement. Very good point. Thank you. Movement is necessary. I know when I had my neck surgery, that is the first thing they said. Hi, Miss Susan. Get up and walk. They had me walk in the halls. It's also why I got discharged from the hospital 7 days early because I spent most of the day walking the halls in little bits, right? When you move your body and you are walking, you're going to circulate that stuff out of your bloodstream much faster. But I'll tell you, those first few days it was very hard to walk when I had my hysterectomy in 2019. And then when the gas hits, you're like so doubled over, but you won't have it quite as bad if you do the um, activated charcoal. If you get food poisoning, if you get the flu, if you've had COVID, activated charcoal. But you do need to drink extra water, and then you need to up your fiber intake, which is why butternut squash. So, seriously, all of you with health stuff and digestive issues, butternut squash. I can't recommend it highly enough. I do use a colon supplement. I'm not on it right now because I'm doing Ayurvedic colon herbs, but my dad still takes it daily called Colonix. And you can see the link for that if you go to my supplements page, just bernadettegold.com/supplements has a list of my recommended supplements. And that Colonix will pull stuff out of you. You have no idea, but I will warn you, you need to drink it take it in the morning and drink a ton of water with it because the psyllium in it can actually plug you up if you don't have enough water with it. So you have to drink a ton of fluid and water. Not just soda does not count as water. Coffee dehydrates you. So let me throw this in there too for any of you that are like coffee drinkers, soda drinkers, anything with caffeine in it is going to negate water intake. So if you drink caffeine, drink coffee, drink soda, you have to double your water intake to make up for the dehydration that happens from drinking those types of drinks. And while I'm not drinking nearly as much coffee as I used to or as often, I like this morning I had half a cup because I'm just struggling really hard right now in my detox symptoms with energy and brain clarity. So to get stuff done today, and I knew I had to stay awake, I couldn't just go back to bed. Coffee and then double the water intake. Otherwise, you end up dehydrated and more constipated. Although coffee can keep you regular, it will constipate you ultimately if you're not drinking enough water. So the other thing I had mentioned to my group, my Charm Life group last night, like water with lemon. First thing in the morning, hot water with lemon will start your metabolism going. It gets your digestion going, but also alkalizes your system. So the hot water is great because it heats up, gets everything moving. After you've been dormant and lying in bed all night, right? It's the best thing for you. You can wrap that up, have your coffee after that, and more water after that, and then water in or lemon in your water throughout the day will keep you alkalized. If you ever have struggled with kidney issues or kidney stones, lemon water is supreme in helping decalcify the stones within your kidneys. So it's another one of my recommendations, right? Yeah. So those are my health tips. Aside from, make sure if you are detoxing from a cold, a flu, the big C virus, from cancer, if you're going through even Western treatments, make sure you're taking detox baths. I don't care if you're a man, take a detox bath. Like I've got my dad doing them and when we're doing the scalar sessions, but anytime I'm working on him now on the Rife machine, like I make him take a detox bath to assist his body in getting rid of those toxins as fast as possible. So many people I'm seeing right now are struggling with congested lymphs, like your lymphatic system's congested and you're not moving stuff out. I'm seeing a lot of people that don't sweat as much as they could or they should. So your skin is your largest detox organ in your entire body. And the minute you can open your pores and start to sweat, which is why I say detox bath, and what that includes is salt, like sea salt, baking soda. You can put bentonite in it. You can put you guys still there? Our internet went out. You guys still there? I think, oh, yep, I am broadcasting. Crazy. That was crazy. I apologize for that. Like all of a sudden my internet went out and then I couldn't turn off the stream. And I was trying to get back in here to launch another stream, but here we are. So I don't know who's watching. I think you guys are still here. Say something in the comments if you can hear me, you can see me. On my phone it came through, so I'm assuming you can. Wow, that was bizarre. Super strange. It's Friday. Thank God. Anyhow, so yeah. Good morning. Hi, Kat. Um, Hi again. Yeah, that was weird. My internet all of a sudden dropped and then it took a minute for it to come back. So I apologize for the delay and the interruption and the craziness. And I was talking about detox baths and whatnot. But yeah, y'all take your detox baths. The last thing I'll update you on how this week has gone in my journey, just healing the mass that I've been dealing with. I've been doing high powered contact Rife sessions through the TENS pads using my new Rife machine until I get waiting for plasma and scalar, but doing sessions on that and it's been rough. Like, it's working. It's been rough. It's been painful. And I'm getting ready to go lay down shortly to do my torture chamber. I say that, but when I first ordered the Spooky 2 device, I ordered the GX Pro kit, essential kit, and it has cold laser, PEMF. It's got the remote features and the contact pads, the TENS pads, and then where you can hold the cylinders. But I'm using contact pads because that's the highest frequency you can get into the body using that system. And they had told me if you're dealing with any kind of cancer or whatever, you need the central and the plasma. Well, I waited to order it. I wish I hadn't, but I did. It's on its way in another week or so after Chinese New Year. And now I know why. Because, oh my God, the shocks, the pain. I feel like I've done 1,000 sit-ups on one side of my stomach by just having the pads right over the area that I'm treating. It's been crazy. The other crazy thing that happened, and I think I mentioned this last week, and this happened when I had colon cancer too, and a few times when I was dealing with leukemia years ago. When I started treating it, putting the rife in play, and even when I was in the scalar, I was getting mouth sores, like at little bits of blisters and abscesses and stuff like that. When I started to run the hardcore treatments this week, I had blisters appearing on the inside upper part of my molars on the top roof of my mouth along my gum line. Blisters would appear. So I'd read in one of the forums, someone was having the same thing, and they're running the dental protocol programs, and I wasn't getting it. So just out of curiosity, they ran the mouth cancer frequencies, and lo and behold, in 24 hours, the blisters went away, their abscesses went away, their teeth stopped hurting. So I did that 3 days ago, I think, 2 days ago. Again, having a hard time with the brain. And when I ran that, more blisters appeared, and within 15 minutes they would pop. All the fluid would come out, most horrible taste in my mouth. And I haven't had any today. I didn't have any new ones yesterday. So isn't it interesting? That would have been the last thing that I would have thought that I needed to run frequencies for. But I did, and it's resolved the problems with the blisters. Is the just presets for mouth cancer. But every time I treat my gut, every time I treat that mass, I was getting stuff happening in my mouth. And who would have thought that it was tied together? Spirit did tell me last week, like, this is the first place of digestion. It's all connected. But you don't think, just don't tie it together, right? Mouth cancer, when you're dealing with a mass in your gut. And I don't know if that helps anybody because we think those things are separate. But then when I started to think back and looked back in my journals, sure enough, I was dealing with the same stuff before. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that. In fact, I did videos about it, right? I have one of my popular videos on YouTube's about how to heal a tooth abscess naturally. Funny, isn't it? So that's been my week. Yesterday, my dad and I spent the day rehoming where my Wi-Fi router is, and it is now safely in the living room downstairs. I have an EMF meter on its way from Amazon. I'll get it tomorrow. I'll do a video about it. It'll be very interesting to see what the RF and EMF frequencies coming off that router are. But it's been in my office/room for the last year and a half, close to 2 years since my kids, Brindy and them, moved here. That it ended up in my room because I no longer have a separate office bedroom space. It's combined, and then I have my office in town. So the routers resided with me. And now that I have new equipment coming, I can't be in a room treating with plasma and scalar with the router. The signals interfere. So it had to be moved. So we did that yesterday, but I do want to know what the radiation levels and EMF levels are coming off of that. I did sleep better last night, not having it in the room when I did finally fall asleep, but I did not fall asleep till 3 a.m. because the shocks from the treatment, like every time I'd start to drift off, so it was like, oh my God, painful. I finally had to pull them off at 2. Like, I could not take it. And I had it on the lowest powered uh, output because I had it on the high powered output with a booster the other night, and it nearly drove me through the roof. I mean, I was in tears. It was painful. Things are changing in there. Like, the mass is starting to shrink and change size and shape, but I do have an awful lot of inflammation from those shocks. Like, I'm treating swelling too in between sessions with the cold laser because it's very irritated right now. The whole thing's very irritated, but it's working. It's working. Like, the mass is lessening, digestion's kicked on fully. My brain fog is bad, bad, bad. Um, but I am getting better. Anything's possible. And it's funny because I've had a couple conversations with people and they're like, how are you staying so positive through all of this? And it really just boils down to, I know that I'm responsible for my own health. There's no reason to fall into victim mode. That is not going to help me tackle this. It can be exhausting to do it the way that I'm doing it. It can be exhausting doing it Western medicine way too, like having to go to appointments all the time and take nasty medicine and blah, blah, blah. I just choose to do it the most natural way possible. But don't think that I'm not exhausted. I'm just very organized in how I'm approaching it. I have a whole calendar spreadsheet on what days I'm doing what. I do have, you know, food diary and a treatment diary. I know what I'm doing because my brain's not sharp. It's absolutely essential. But I also need to know days from now, if something backfires on me, what I did 2 days ago, a day ago. What did I eat? Like, I'm tracking all of it. And I know that seems overwhelming, but trust me, it's not. You get used to it. And when you become your own health advocate, it's amazing how quickly you heal and then how empowered you feel. Anything, I'm just saying anything is possible if you take that on. That's all I'm going to share with you guys. I do have to go do this treatment that I am obviously procrastinating right now, but I'm trying to honor my word of sharing my journey with y'all. This last Wednesday on the Gold Factor podcast, I released the last chapters of the audiobook, My Story, The Crooked Path to a Charmed Life, a clairvoyant medium's journey to embracing her spiritual gifts, my book, all released, all chapters available. Some of you, I don't know if you noticed, if you listen to the podcast on YouTube, there is one episode missing, and I cannot for the life of me force it to update. Like, episode 3 on YouTube, just on the YouTube podcast. It is on my video page, which I have 2 playlists, one for the podcast and one for the video end, which is separate of the audiobook. You just look on the podcast for the Gold Factor or the playlist. There's one that says audiobook. All of the episodes are in there. And then the episodes updated everywhere else, every other directory, Spotify, Apple, Google, FM, iTunes. It's all everywhere else. For whatever reason, YouTube didn't push it, that 3rd episode. So I am aware of it. There's nothing I can do about it. I've talked to Podbean. They're like, change something in the description, push it again. I've done that 3 times. Nothing's working. So I apologize. And the way YouTube has updated the podcast as they're pulling in episodes aren't all in order, which is highly irritated to my organized brain. But that is not my doing. I have no control over that. When I publish them with 15-minute increments, and it's still out of order on YouTube, but only YouTube. Now on my website, on Podbean, it's all good. On Apple, it's all good. You go to the first episode all the way through. You got 22 episodes altogether for all 30 chapters of the book. I combined chapters when they weren't super long. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. But I have a request for you. If you have listened to the audiobook or you've even read my book, you have questions that came out of some of the stuff that I talked about in there, or it triggered something in you, and you want me to deepen the discussion about it, please send me a message, or you can just put it in the comments here, because this coming Wednesday, I am going to record a podcast, and I may do it try to do it live on Podbean, if at all possible, where I can actually take caller questions. But I'm trying to figure out the viability of that because I have a class that night for Hidden Wisdom as well. Our monthly coaching is next Wednesday. Regardless, I want to know your questions, because to wrap season 1 up of the audiobook, I'm going to answer questions. I have a few questions that already come in, but I want more. I want more. Right? Thanks. I'm a natural healing as well as frequency healing machine, changing to healthy eating. That is so awesome, Kat. We need so many more people out there. We need so many health advocates and health coaches and healers out there, because there aren't enough, right? Like, I've been at this for 25 years. Before I have my current Rive machine, I had a QXCI, quantum zeroid conscious interface machine. And that thing is over 20, 21, 22 years old. It's old. And it just is not putting the frequencies out. So I had to find a different device. And I'm using the Spooky 2, which is just amazing. And when I get the rest of the equipment and I'm better at it and I have time to go through it with people, I will share more about it. But so far, and I did a ton of research, ton of reviews, the Spooky 2 and the testimonials on that one's amazing. We need more practitioners. I do biomagnetism therapy as well. It's very labor intensive, but the right frequencies does things from the perspective of killing and healing. And then magnets are great at balancing things within the body in a very quick way and resolving things and bring harmony back in the body, reducing inflammation, reducing stress, deals with brain injuries and all of that stuff, helping the brain to rewire. We need more practitioners because the healthcare system's failing. It's been a long time coming, and I'm seeing more and more stuff pop up. This is super exciting. And I did talk about my health journey with my colon tumor in the book, and other health challenges I went through, but also emotional challenges, abusive relationships, overcoming past childhood trauma, dealing with the fact that I was born a psychic and it was poo-pooed and it was outlawed in my family, and having to find ways around it, learning how to deal with it without a mentor, without understanding anything. And many of you are going through a spiritual awakening now, and it's a really good place to start. I am an empath, but my empath gifts I tuned up into clairsentience, where I can clearly sense now. It's not just coming at me from every direction and I have no control. I actually have control. That took years. And if any of you are dealing with being an empath and you're pressured, I do have a course on that, becoming an empowered empath, that I taught in 2021 and 2022, available on my website. Anyone can get into that. If you want access to that and other things, like learning the tarot, learning spiritual protection, learning how to do clearing for yourself, learning about natural health, mindset, confidence, all of those things, tools for prosperity, come into my Hidden Wisdom Vault. Come into my monthly membership for $40 a month. Like, you get all kinds of stuff. And then you have access to the yearly forecast. You get access to the monthly forecast. You get access to monthly coaching with me. And you can ask me whatever you want within the group when we do our monthly coaching. And our monthly coaching for February is coming up on the 21st. And we do that in the evening. We do it at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, so that people that are working can actually, in Pacific time, can actually attend that. But that's the third Wednesday of every month. But I want your questions for this upcoming final episode of season 1. And then on the 28th, the episode that's being released is my interview that I did a couple months ago. I recorded an interview with Dr. Garcia, who is the trainer for biomagnetism therapy. And I'm actually in an advanced workshop next weekend. So that'll be interesting too, how I'll bring back some goodies for you guys from what happens during that. And a few of my Charm Life girls that got certified as biomagnetism practitioners are going to be in that training as well. So it'll be super fun to be around them for a few days, learning and growing and playing. And yeah, only halfway frequency, making my way to top. What do you mean top 1 for Cancer? Interesting. That sounds really interesting, Kat. I love it when I hear people are using all these natural modalities. We really need to take control of our health. We really need to advocate for ourselves. I'm one for healing without the nasty side effects. You're always going to have detox symptoms. Like I know that the last couple weeks through my journey has just it's been rough. Like I know I have to detox. I know that I'm gonna have Herxheimer, Thankfully with my little machine, there's some detox programs that I can run concurrently while I'm doing the Kilk programs to assist, but you're not going to escape having detox symptoms when you're killing stuff. If you have Morgellons and Lyme, you're going to have detox symptoms. You're going to have Herxheimer effect. But even if you go to Western medicine, you're taking all the antibiotics and doing the protocol, you're going to have Herx. Part of it, support your body through it and know it won't last forever. Right? My go-to statement right now when I'm feeling like crap, and this week was a rough week, it would be 1,000 times worse if I was on chemo and radiation. 1,000 times worse. I would not even be sitting up right now, right? I wouldn't have my hair. Even though I've lost some hair, I wouldn't, I wouldn't have my hair. And I certainly would not be as clear of mind as I am right now. But I can definitely tell I've got serious brain fog. My memory's not as sharp, right? My ability to reason through things, just trying to figure out a way to drop our Ethernet cables through the second floor of my house. After 5 hours of trying to figure out how to do it and put it into the walls, um, which we weren't able to do anyways. So maybe it wasn't brain fog. My dad was like, yeah, the way that you think that we have to do it is how we're going to do it, which meant we drilled through the floor, through the floor, through part of the wall, and then popped it back out through the ceiling of the next floor. So, yeah, I guess I had figured it out, but I was trying to find a different way to just hide all of it behind the drywall, which would have meant that we had to cut the drywall. And we did have to cut patches, but we patched them already. It's all good. So, yeah, brain's not at the top. Anyhow, now I'm rambling. I'm going to go do my treatment, not put it off anymore. I invite you all to connect with me in whatever way. And in the upcoming, like I was saying, Dr. Garcia is coming on. In upcoming podcasts, I've got some special guests that I am going to be interviewing, and I'll be covering topics on my own as well. So I want to know what you guys want to know. Like, what do you want to learn about? And people are like, natural health. Okay, what aspect of natural health? Do you want to know more about energy healing? Do you want to know about certain conditions? What do you want to know? Do you want to know about plant-based eating? Do you want to know how to create the transition from crappy eating to plant-based eating, or the 80-20 rule of 80% whole foods and 20% whatever the heck? What do you want to know? Like, I need to know. And as far as like mindset, remember, you guys, I've been a coach, transformational coach for over 25 years. I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. I've been a spiritual teacher for that long as well. I have a lot of knowledge. I was a professional spiritual teacher, psychic, and advisor and coach for that long. But if y'all don't ask me questions and get specific, I don't know what you need. I know there's a lot of needs out there, and it's so overwhelming for me to try and figure out, especially at this time with what I'm going through, for me to figure out what part of my knowledge I can bring to you. I want to be of service to you as much as possible. And I know things are really not looking up for a lot of people right now. I mean, I realize there's a lot of layoffs. I realize people have a lot of fear around money. Money, manifesting, mindset, all of that stuff. I am advanced level, high level as far as my understanding and teaching, and I've taught plenty of people on it. Do you want to know more about survival mode? Do you want to know more about taking control of your life? Do you want to know how to rise above all circumstance? What do you want? Tell me, because there's so many places I can go. I need to know what you need from me, what you want from me. You ordered a bath. It'll be here next week for detox. Oh, cool. Awesome, Kat. Yeah. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys get something from this. please do yourself a favor and um, that is not helpful, Mr. Andy. You want to learn all of it from A to Z? Would you like me to start? What's the most important topic that I could teach you, that I could impart knowledge, wisdom, insights, give you tips on? What's the most important right now for you? What are you most curious about, and what's going to be most helpful to you? Right? That's what I want to start to create content around for you. And we probably already have a ton of content, and that's the other part is I have thousands of videos that my video editor assistant Ashley can pull from, but we need to know what it is that you're all needing help with. Positive energy. Yeah. Maintaining positive energy. That's a good one. And that's all part of the conscious ride we're all on right now. That's a good one. I'll have to think about that. What exactly with positive energy do you want to learn about? Because there are, I guess I'll have to sit down and see what spirit has to say about that. Like, what is it? Positive energy, positive mindset, positive intention. What is it? Get specific for me, you guys. Help me help you right now. Just please understand and be patient, have some grace that I'm not 100%. I mean, I am daily, 24 hours a day right now. I am doing treatments from energy work on the Rife machine to my diet stuff to detox support on top of handling my workload and keeping everything moving forward, and just being human, paying bills and all that stuff, taking dogs out. Thankfully, I'm not able to eat much food. So anything I am eating is things like butternut squash and artichokes. I am on YouTube. Yes. Just look at the gold factor on YouTube, or you can look up my name, Bernadette Gold. I'm on YouTube as well. Yep. Just follow me over there, subscribe. Um, yeah, I need help helping people. I'm great in my coaching sessions because I don't even have to think. And this is the beauty of when I work with people, right? One on one, or even in my classes. I don't have to think. I get out of the way. It makes my job as an intuitive coach so easy because spirit just starts to download stuff and I know exactly what to do, where to go, what the problems are, how to fix them, and ask the right questions to get you to make shifts within your life. That's easy for me. That's probably the easiest part of my life right now is working with clients. That part, super easy. Probably because I know so well how to do it, but the rest of life, like live streams are not easy. Creating content, not easy. I wrote that email. It took me a long time. Was not easy because the brain's not fully there. And any of you who've had to have chronic illness and detox, you know what I'm talking about. And I usually don't have brain fog. This is intense. Like, I've lost another couple pounds. Like I'm down to 117, which is great because I'm not even working out. Like I don't have the energy to work out, which really sucks because I built my muscles up so much that I was feeling really strong. I don't have the time and I absolutely don't have the energy right now to work out. And that's just one of those sacrifices. I know with muscle memory in a few months that I'll get it all back really fast. And that's where my focus is. And that's how you keep a positive mindset. So y'all have a good weekend. Be blessed. Be a blessing. And I'll see you guys in upcoming episodes.